Good morning. This is Rob Sin at CEO Technician on Twitter, at Goldfinger on co.ca. And it's Monday morning, almost an hour after the US market open, just after 10 a.m. on the East Coast. And I wanted to discuss two topics this morning. The first one is a nice trade setup that came about in the E-mini futures this morning in the S&P 500 futures. And then some comments on gold miners and seasonality here. So starting out with the E-mini 30-minute chart. So a couple of important observations here. So first of all, this is the last week of August, a notoriously choppy period, time of the year for trading. Markets tend to stay range bound here in the final couple weeks of August. Not a lot of clear trends to trade. So this morning we opened up strong in the S&P futures, and you can see that off the open. So if I pull it up to the 5-minute chart, we rallied up to 47.25 in the E-mini futures, and then proceeded to pull back. And we're currently consolidating near the 44.40 level in the S&P 500 E-mini futures. But I want to show this trade setup. So first of all, these are 30-minute candlesticks. You get 7 green candlesticks in a row, starting around 6:30 a.m. on the East Coast. And if we look to the left on the chart, you can see this area of consolidation from Wednesday's close. So last Wednesday's close. And actually, this is the closing bar, the closing 30-minute candlestick right here. The market closed at 44.48 that day. That was before the NVIDIA earnings caused the futures to spike 30 points in the overnight trading, right? But the reason why this is important is that was a daily closing level. And this morning was the first retest of that level from below, right? So the market sold off big last Thursday, took some time to put in a bottom on Friday, and we've been moving up since Friday around midday. Got up to retest, not exactly 44.40, it got to 44.47.25 and turned around. Zoom in a little bit, you can see we dropped all the way down to 44.32.75. So about a 15-point pullback off of that opening thrust. Okay. So the reason why I point this out is that was a nice short setup to short against that 44.48 level off the open. You could have had a stop basically above the high of that closing bar last Wednesday. So above 44.53, you're out of there on your short. You take the short somewhere between 44.45 and 44.48. Maybe scale in a contract at a time, maybe take the whole thing at one level. That's a stylistic thing. I got short early on, and I made plus 10 points on this pullback. Now, what I'll say now is the longer the E-mini S&P stays above this 44.37 to 44.40 area, the more bullish it is. In fact, this is looking like a bullish consolidation right now. I wouldn't try to bet against this, okay? The point of this video was just talking about some key levels and a trade setup off the open. As far as the SPY goes, big picture, I think we're in a 100-point range here. So basically 435 Friday's low to Thursday's high at around 445. That's our trading range right here. If we get outside of that, then that's a whole different story. That's going to be either a breakout or a breakdown. But right now, we're still inside this range that basically fully contained last week's trading action, right? Turning to gold miners. This is a blog post I posted at the end of June about gold miner seasonality. And I just want to make one point here. Typically, the gold bugs, the Huey, has some seasonal strength here. The closing days of August, the first couple days of September. So far, this has not been a good August for the gold mining sector. The gold miners have a shot here at the end of August to put in a rally and maybe get back to the $30 level in the GDX. That would be a tremendous week for the gold sector if we're up 4 or 5% on the week. Right now, sentiment is extremely bearish. Seasonality is favorable. The gold miners have a shot here to move higher this week. If they do not, if this sector cannot get out of its own way here the last week in August, I would take that as very bearish piece of information that seasonality completely failed here this month of August. Couldn't even get a bounce, ahead of Labor Day. That would be a very bad sign. But I have to think that with sentiment so negative on the sector and some seasonal tailwinds here as we close the month of August and last week's little bounce, the gold miners have a shot here, call it a 60-40 or 65-35, to have a pretty good week as we close out this month. But we will see, and we will reassess things next weekend. Have a great trading week. Thanks a lot for watching this video.